Hola, buenos dias. How's everybody doing today? I was outside last night, noche. It's really powerful stuff. I think we take things for granted. I would think we focus more on ourselves than we actually look up the atmosphere and see what we see, what we can see. It's really powerful stuff when we come into those formations. I was setting up line signals and graphing signals to communications and map locations. I was opening up Starlight Energy Systems last night. Now, knowing how to communicate with the atmosphere, you have to use electronic mechanisms of connections because it goes through your chakra system. Your chakra system is going to allocate a positions of planets and intelligence. So it opens up cycle rotations. So I open a plasma force connection. You're going to see a lot of things flying in recognition systems. In Toronto, they're saying that it's a meteor. It's not a meteor. Basically, it's an N84 system through cloud interface. There was a light switch that went on with the clouds. Understanding what the universal system is, it's answering patterns and everything through communication, but you have to understand the intelligence within to its division. I want to show you a graphing picture that I took last night when I was on the rooftop. Really powerful. So you're going to see the moon shift on so many levels of divisions of dimensions, portal activation code systems, and how you go through those angle point divisions. So it's flying in recognition. So it's kind of look like almost like an egg shape. So it's knowing how fast you are through connection. It will tell you exactly how fast the moon is through its reflection, because everything that you see is through a video graphing system, right? So this is what it is. Okay. That is the moon surfacing right now through acceleration of speed, right? As you can see, it's not a circle, is it? It's not a rotation system, is it? That's the moon. So the moon interfaces on so many connections and changes everything through coloration patterns. Like this. Okay? See how it flashes? See that flash? Flash? See? See that connection? Now, see that rotation cycle right there? See, my finger point division is extremely powerful through connection, through intelligence. It goes, I'm just showing you when you guys do pictures to actually look at what you're seeing. Try to pay attention because it's really, really powerful stuff. Okay? Now, this is the moon in full cycle rotation. Okay? And really, really powerful. Look at the line graphs. Look at the line communication, right? Now, this is the moon surfacing right now to all divisions of galaxy locations. Where it is in position. You start out with this, right? I want to show you how powerful the moon is through all directions. And it opens up everything to light signals like this through connection, right? See how it changes location? Really, really powerful stuff through that division. It's amazing, guys, when you see these things. Remember, you can go through anything through graphing cycle. When Priscilla set up a Quesapilla line formation communication line signal, before I get started, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. Keep formed with everything through force rising, grand rising, everything through that connection. If you have any questions or comments, you can go below. Donations, healing, anything through tractions, anything through your ascensions. Opening up all cycle rotations. So it's kind of like waking your body conceptual system of the mainframes and understand how to communicate with the universal system. It's really powerful stuff when you get with those connections. But anything through connection, you can open up all cycle rotations. Now, what I was setting up to the division of the system, I'll show you exactly how powerful it is through connections. Now, I'm going to go through a digital format through line signal. Okay, start here. All right, we'll go here from here, right? Now, understanding how to set up a line graph. It's really, really powerful stuff when we get into those connections, guys. It's knowing the direction you're going through protection. Protection through map sequence level system. So sky surfacing yesterday, and I was setting up platform divisions of hovercrafts. Hovercraft through an XT1000 is allocated through positions. So it changed the galaxy locations. It opened up portals. You can up portals at night. And it's really, really powerful stuff when you get into those connections. So it's in its locking mechanism system. Go in its gamma operation system like this. Into its framing system. Lock it in its connection. All right. Make sure it's in its framing cycle. You don't want to get lost in transition. Okay. So it's knowing what you could do with the atmosphere systems through calculation. And then you go into point division. All right. You go into planet locations here. Okay. Lock it in. You go into here. All right. We lock it in. Now, when Priscilla was seeing Cassiopeia, she understands her perception through line signals. It's really, really powerful stuff when you get into those connections, right? Now, this is an activation line signal, okay, to 3 planet locations at point centers. That kind of looks like an S, right? So once it's information, it's coming into communication through a map sequencing. You lock in its division, and it becomes its own map location, right? Map location. Just showing you what you can do in the universal system. So it's kind of like drawing pictures into the universe to understand what is the universe? What is the system? How do I operate the system? Well, you have to operate yourself first through mastering techniques, right? Because you're a skill set, right? So when you get into those locations, you can go into map locations, all right? Now, when you get map locations, you can bring anything through XT1000 in. Extremely powerful stuff. So I was opening up light signals through the gamma operation system through the audio of its defense recognition system. The map location through its connection was alien information line system. Understanding communications of the moon interface, understand communications with the sun interface. Even though it's noche, nighttime, doesn't mean the sun is not out. It just means that it's in another galaxy location. It's always spinning on its correlation system, right? It's always spinning, always spinning. Nothing in the universal system is still, okay? Because everything stopped on a dime, everything would just fall, right? Our vibrations would deflate. Our location wires would just be on all so many different deharmonizing mechanisms. The wire signals would basically go, right? And then it would find a way to hit the ground formations, and you'd be allocated no positions anymore into your chakra system. So getting communications is very important to understand these things, because you can change any formation. So you can bring an XT1000 into connection, plot it to the position. And when it's in its position, it's really powerful stuff, because you understand how to communicate with everything through formation, right? Because XT1000s can be anywhere in division in seconds. But you have to understand how to communicate with the universe. All right, so everything through point center has its planet location. Okay. When it's in that position, it lines signals to its location, one XT1000 to another XT1000. It line graphs its system into a green location like this. Okay, we start out with that, right? And then from there, we go from here. Okay, and then from here, we go from here. And then from here, we go from here. Okay, so it's all about line graphing. Okay, remember I was telling you about the high speeders and low speeders and all that? Well, everything through map location is its identification through its numbers of its frequencies through its diagram program setting. Your algorithm system has to understand the universal system of location. So get into the connections of your electronic interference, put your hand formations, use your sacred breath, use your chakra system, show your positions. Like I said, remember yesterday I said, make sure that your 7 cycle rotations of your body activation is ready for active. Once it's activated, then you know exactly which chakra formation to use, because it calculates and modifies everything through its location, right? But that's understanding getting into electronic interference through XT1000s. And everything through an XT1000, okay, is not the same. Okay, they're in different locations. All right. So they understand the coloration. So if an XT1000 comes in through green, okay, it has to understand its communication, has to understand its communication at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, five central systems of XT1000 division. Allocate those positions. So understanding the answer patterns when it comes into communication is really understanding everything to its division. All right. So this is an XT1000. Okay, 101. This is an XT1000 103. This is an XT1000 106. And it doesn't have to be in order. It's just that they're allocated to different positions through the Sun interface, that division. This is 107. And this is 121. All right. So those are allocated positions of XT1000 through locations. The map location is centering everything through correlation system. Okay, and this is how you come into Cassiopeia or anything through the Milky Way, the constellation path. So you have to understand what the electronic interference is doing. Same thing when we go into crop circles through crop cycles. Your 50 platitude divisions of your chakra system, you're going to understand more how to connect into a crop circle, how to connect from space. So you're going to make it in space, okay, through shapes anomalies, okay, and then you're going to use correction divisional level platforms, and then you center core its position, and then you bring it down to its platitude division, then you open up the ground cycle through its location, to its country system. And then you set up the map location, and then the XT1000 comes in to its division. So you have to know exactly which one is which, right? Because each XT1000 is in a different division when it comes to a mainframe. Remember, they're all connected to the membranes. They're all connected through you. So you can sky surface anything through location, light signals, light activation, and map locations, anything through an animation formation system. So it's line graphing everything through connection, right? So if you get an XT1000 101, it knows exactly what to do. It understands its coloration. So the 103 has to understand 101. 103 has to understand 106. 106 has to understand 101. And 101 has to understand 121 because they all connect through. All right. It's got galactic family, its core system, everything through relation. The Galactic Federation of Light. Okay. Everything has a command force. So it's about command, it's about control, it's about force. And when you take control, everything is in a positive center. There's no allocated positions and different division level system. So you won't see an XT1000 come into that location. So as soon as you change, if you change a number sequency level through an XT1000, it depletes its system and it goes down to its location like this. All right. So you don't want to put it here. You want to keep it in position because it's line signaling to all cross centers, to all the different XT1000 divisions, right? So you don't want to center core its system because you're going to open up the confusing line signal to the line graph system and it destroys everything through its grid. Okay, so it's important you understand what you're communicating with. So 101 is connected through you, through your body frames. Remember, your map locations, everything through your digital formats is in calculation. So when you're centering out to its division of the sacred breath, you have to understand that you're using 103, 101, 121, 101, or 106. So you know exactly which one is in position of location, right? That's why it's extremely powerful in the universal system. Okay, because not all intelligence is all the same. It's all different, and that's what's so fascinating about it. Same when you look at the universe system, it's all different colors. Once you change your perception, you see everything through that location, right? So I saw a spectrum light spaceship come in, really, really powerful stuff. Line signal through its location. I talked to Vega through communications. Everything that happens to me happens to you through your perception. Everybody's on a different waving cycle. But you have to understand map locations, right? And that's what Priscilla's getting in. She's getting into map locations of Cassiopeia. And that's why I wanted to bring everybody's attention to that. It's really powerful stuff when you come into universal systems, into allocated positions of XT1000s. So it's understanding number divisions of location through balance. And you don't want to off-cycle anything through calculation, right? Because if it's in a division, if it goes here into here, it's because you change the location, 3-number sequencing. So this is no longer 101, okay? It's no longer 101, okay? And it's at a different level through its connection. All right. Now, going into this location system here. Into those locations, I did everything through light signals. You understand everything through the system here. It goes in so many communication line signals. So this will be 108. Going into traction of location here. freezer mechanism system here. And its connection. So that would be 108. Okay. So you're not communicating with 101 anymore. You're communicating with 108. So it's going to fall. It's going to fall because you're not in division through 103. All right. That's where it gets really, really complicated stuff. But this is how you set up a map location into universal systems, into 3-line signals of 3 planet locations. So it's understanding line graphs. Okay. So your illustration pattern division is already set in the psychological system. So the psychological of you has to understand the universal system of you. So it understands everything through its XT thousands of you. And it has to understand its communications of you through your chakra system, right? But that's what happens when you get in positions, right? So that's what I want the team to do. I want you to go outside and set up a graph system through locations, right? This is understanding your endpoint view. Now this is getting extremely complicated. People that are new, you can understand, I'll help you out in other ways where you can open up your ascension. Your ascension is very powerful to you. It's open up your lights. It's open up your gamuts. It's open up everything through perception. It's open up your universal system, 3-dimensional system of your activation through your higher self. It formulates in all levels, right? Especially when you're communicating, because the map locations, even the earth has a map. Why do you think it has so many different roads, right? You look at the Pearly maps back in the 80s. Everything has a map to get to, right? From here to here, if I don't know where I'm going, how am I going to understand that from my psychological system? My psychological system understands the graphs of the lines through its roads, but it doesn't understand the location through its intelligence. So it's very important to understand these things when you're traveling, because it all has to do with your acceleration through your metrics. All right, but it's fascinating when you get into those positions, right? So once you're in that position, you can go into different division level systems, allocate to those locations. Now, okay, so we're going to do a review today about the test, all right? It's all about your E fields. How do I create my E field? Okay, is everybody nervous? Now, the new people, don't worry about it because it's extremely complicated stuff. It's understanding how to just form yourself through, get into your breathing, get into your yoga, get into your meditation. Breathing is number one because we breathe every day, right? But knowing how we can change our communications of our breathing through our tone mechanisms. It's like you go up and then you go down, and then you go up and you go down again. So you try to fluctuate your patterns, try to understand your communication, coloration, lights, because your intelligence signals are changing everything through its line graph system. Really complicated stuff when you get into those locations, right? It's really, really powerful stuff. So as we get into light formation, like this through communication. Now open up all cycle rotations. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so they're all divisional level. Kind of looks like a spine, right? Now, everything through its connection is its spine. Okay, spine is connected. We've been through this before. And then you got the central system of the brain. Okay, it's a nerve stem. Okay, it looks like that. Now, you have to go beyond recognition of a human DNA and what you look like. Just imagine what you look like under a microscope through wires. Fascinating. So as you're going through the spine, you're going through the mind. Okay, the mind's going through the brain. Like this. Okay. Okay, so everything I've given you is on the test. So you got to pay attention to this, very important. So you got the 7 rotation centers, okay, of body frames. Okay, these are the body frames, right? Of 7. Now, understanding everything through communication is number 1. We already know that, right? Communication is number 1, guys. You have to understand these things. Communication, right? Now, everything connects to the brain. Everything connects to the spine. The spine is the central system of center. It operates everything through its location. Now, we're going to change the coloration pattern. Okay. Now, as we're going to go into the center rotation like this. Okay. We're going to start off with that, right? Now, once we understand the communication, it's going to go through its ground communication, right? Everything has to be connected with Mother Gaia. Okay. Now, the central system activates everything through the brain. The brain understands its relation. The mind understands its acceptance. So the brain has to accept the mind has to accept the brain, as it's connected through the circle rotation, through the membranes. Everything through the hydraulics goes in. Okay, the hydraulics is a magnetic, goes up and down. So understanding your intelligence and what it sounds like. So think of it, when I talk to you, you understand my voice, right? Same with Tina, same with Melissa, same with Starcy. We all have different voice patterns. So when you understand these things and you use your chakra system, it allocates higher positions. Okay. So the ground formations would be with me, because I understand my center. When you understand your center, you understand everything through your grounds. So it's really powerful stuff. So it fluctuates. So tone division is everything through your activation cycle, through your center core system, right? So it's going. And when you want to activate the grounds of Mother Gaia, it goes up because you're going up into space, right? So you're reaching higher frequencies. So you're changing the vibration. It's going like this. And when it's ready to operate, and when you send out the signal through transmitting and receiving, it goes up, right? So you understand that you communicate with the body framing of Mother Gaia. That's the ground formation. You always have to have the grounds. If you don't have the grounds and you have the center, there's a problem. So you have the ground center first, but the heart recognition system opens up everything through calculation. All right, so you get in the waiting cycle of the heart recognition. Okay, so let's go in the main frame. It's on this side. All right, so let's say the heart's here. Color it in frame system. Allocate its position. So it's in its location, like that. That's the heart, right? So basically, it's how it starts. The heart connects through the center. The center connects all the way down to the grounds. The grounds activates everything through the brain. The brain connects through the mind. The mind connects with the spine through its connection to force rising cycle. It zooms into space. All right. Now, truly understanding, you have to have your ground formations, okay? Because that is your balance when it comes to center, because you're in position, right? So the circle rotation of its paper doesn't have to be center. You're always in center all the time, every time you're going through anything. So if you're off winning cycles, we'll go into this first, right? Okay. So when we're in that position, what you got to understand once you get into those calculations, I'll set up another white graphing board system. Into formation. Now, as you start off with that, right? Now, as you're opening up the grounds, okay, the grounds is communicating through you, right? Now, because you're in foot position, your foot, it doesn't matter where you are, but you're always, always, always in center, okay, all the time. So even if you're off cycle like this, it's still in center. Even if you're off cycle like this, you're still in center because you're in the positive system. It's really powerful stuff, right? As soon as you change the framing system, you're in the matrix location. So that changes coloration, changes your pattern divisions to a lower division. Okay. See the difference? See the difference from positive and negative? See how it changes everything? Positive, negative, right? So you always want to stay within the balance of its location. Like this. You always want to stay in the frame of its center. So even if it goes on traction division like this, and you get a triangle division like this, okay, it's off to its cycle, right? But as long as you present yourself in the positive of yourself, you're always, always in the center. Okay? Allocate positions. You can take anything out of traction division to its location. Really, really powerful stuff when you get into those levels, guys. It's a lot of fun because you can change anything to that division, right? All right? But as long as you understand, you have to understand your grounds. Okay? So grounds is everything. So once the grounds has its connection, it volumes in so many cycle rotations of center. Okay? And it connects to all rounds of positive centers. Okay? It's powerful stuff when you see these things through traction divisions. So you don't want to deplete anything through a program setting. Because when you get in those positions, this is what happens with your map locations, right? From here to here, it falls, right? So this is 101. You got the sequency level system through its activation, through its map location, but it falls through its division because you change your negative system. And now you're communicating with 108 and not 101. So this has to get back into position, back into the framing system to its division, right? And then you have to understand more communications, right? So you got to center core divisions to XD thousands back into position because you change your framing system to 101 to 108. All right. So that's the same thing with the fallout with your chakra system. Okay. So you understand how powerful your chakra system is, but when you're in space and you're communicating and setting up map sequency codes or anything through line graph or anything through calculation, you have to understand your grounds. Okay. 3 powers and then 3 atmospheres. Right. Everything in between will activate, but you got to know your grounds. It's Mother Gaia that you connect with right away. Okay. So basically, the important of that is to understand that you are leaving the earth. So you have to formulate through the earth first and say, okay, I'm leaving my physical system now, communicating with earth rotation center. Okay. Now it's complicated when you get into your computer system because once you become a computer, you know exactly how to communicate with the earth. You know exactly how to communicate with planet's intelligence. You know exactly how to set up applications. And you don't have to worry about falling mechanisms of spacecraft divisions. Right? Because if it keeps crashing, this is what happens. It changes location and it will crash into another XT1000. Like that. Okay? That's how powerful you are. You can create something. You can also explode something. That's how powerful you guys are through the mind system. Because you're in higher positions of chakras. And it's important that you understand every time you communicate, you start with the grounds. Understand how to communicate with the earth because your physical system is leaving. Okay? The brainwaving system and coming into the mind collaboration center. It's coming into the mainframe. It's coming into the mind of its open frequency through calculation. All right? So you don't want to put yourself in that position, go from here to here to here because you'll crash. All right? So, and that will change everything through anomaly. That will dysfunction. That will open a graphing location. And then you got to start all over through division. Okay? So it's a trust factor. You have to trust yourself. You know what you're doing when it comes to map locations. Anything through energy of lights, anything through light communication of dimensions, of portals, or realms. If you connect through a realm division through a location, this is how powerful your chakra system is through communication with intelligence. So let's say you want to set up a map location to a realm location. Now, activation cycle is going through its connection like this. Now, understanding an XT1000 comes into its division like this. Okay, now you're coming in position. You're coming out of a realm location. You're communicating with the ground formations. So the ground formations is right here. Okay, so XT1000 comes in right away, scans you through coloration. Okay, so once it scans you through coloration, you're going into the center core position of its dimension. Now, once it goes into this dimension, it goes into its atmosphere system, calculates and modifies through its magnetic force and highway information system. Okay, then it goes back into position like this. Now you think it's going backwards, but it's going forwards. So the center core position, open up the light signals through division to its location. Once you open its location, you go back into location, into realm location, activate everything to light signal to its panel operation system, allocates positions, open up its realm location. Okay, all connected through the grounds, right? So when you connect with the grounds right away, you automatically communicate with the XT1000. Okay, right away. So it sonifies its divisions, open up its light signals through traction division. Now, if you're going to open up your chakra system, you open up your crown chakra division like this. Okay, it's like a purple cloud. Now that purple cloud activates its light signal. It's really powerful stuff through a connection. It goes like this. So it's a wind graph system, right? To position. Okay. So it's really powerful stuff when you come into those connections. And then it scouts everything through connection, changes location position, activates everything light signal to its direction. So my computer operation system is always connecting through force, through connection, right? It understands positions. So if you get a triangle angular base like this in position, okay, now you lock it in mechanism. Now you want to understand how to set up a code for a conceit to a map location to a planet location like this. Now, if you're going to do this, you have to understand the communication of the XT1000, right? Because this is a triangle, okay? Now it's in space, right? Space. Why is it space? Everything through intelligence. Different intelligence, different intelligence, different intelligence, different intelligence, right? It has to, because it has to connect to its planet. So this planet is connected to the triangle division, right? So when it's connected through that, you lock it in its mechanism, it comes into formation. Now, you're coming into green cycle rotation because that's a chakra system you're opening up through acceleration. So you're coming into a green forcing connection in the XT1000. The XT1000 basically scans the planet location, opens up the frequency light communication light signals through division to its planet location, right? Now, this is all done through space, through shapes and anomalies. This is how you center core everything through an operation cycle to a platform of a crop circle. Okay. Now, understanding how to do these things, it's really powerful stuff through connection. So I'm creating a crop cycle, crop circle, crop rotation into space anomaly, right? Now, understanding that communication comes into cycle rotation centers like this, activates everything through the core system. Okay, so this is how everything's created, right? Through a crop circle. Now the crop circle platitudes down to its location, like this. Speed graphs down to its grounds. So it's made in space first. I said that before, right? So now we get another formation of an XT1000 coming in. Okay, now remember, everything through division. So this is 116, this is 128. Two different intelligence of different colorations, right? So center core's positions activate everything through the light signals of the division level system, correlates its division through its triangle of its pyramid activation line system, cross-reference its location, like that. Okay, it comes in position, right? So basically, once it comes in position, it comes into the ground formations. Okay, we're going to cycle rotations of ground, because that's grounds. So once we get into that position, this is the grounds. Okay, we start off with that, right? Now, as the XT1000s are coming in to a location, like this, its center chords its operations center. We've gone through this before, right? Now it's changing its coloration system because you're going into different atmospheres, right? To calculation. So basically, as it's coming in, it's going through its cycle rotation like this, through its division. Okay? As it's coming in a force rising cycle, it changes its direction to its division. Center core is its location to its activation cycle. All right? Now, once it goes into position, you can change anything through coloration system. All right? So as the light signals are coming in, the ground formations is getting communication cycles. Okay? Now, you center core the operation system comes into traction of locations, platitude its location, in attraction division. Okay? Now, once you get in that center core position, it activates its light signal through its division. Okay? Opens up its frequency level. Now, the ground formation system opens up to calculation. Now, this gets complicated stuff because now you're communicating through the grounds. So it's really understanding everything through grounds is connected through your chakra system. So it's your perception that has to understand communication of the ground information system. Okay, Karen. Yeah, welcome everybody. Galactic 222. She's in a new division right now. She's in the 40 levels of chakra formation. So congrats on that. All right. So once we're in the grounds like this, okay. Now, as it opens up its center, this is understanding everything through plateaus and everything through that connection. So I'm going to wipe out its location like this. Okay. Now, as its center core position, the XT thousands comes in its location, changes another formation into another XT thousand division to its division like this. Okay. Now, you've already set the grounds, the coloration system. This is higher positions of chakra formation. So every time I'm doing an XT thousand through green, blue, purple, whatever, I'm communicating through my body frame, through my chakra. So you have to understand each chakra formation is connected to an XT thousand. You guys didn't know that, did you? So you have a ground formation of an XT thousand, but you have to understand your frames. So your frame through your digital system has to understand its calculation. So this is an XT thousand. Okay, XT thousands. Okay. This is a sky graph. Now, a sky graph is extremely powerful. Force recognition of a starlight division. So basically, as it comes into calculation, security line defense comes into its vision. All right. Now we get the XT thousands coming into location, changes everything through formation, center towards its position of its realm division like this, opens up its light signal, goes back into the XT thousand, goes into space connection. All right. So this is understanding how you set up different crop cycles, crop circles, and ground formations. Ground formations and work your way up to 7. So that's 7 plateau divisions of digital framings of XT thousand you're communicating with through coloration of lights. Each chakra system is communications of God frequency level. So each XT thousand is a different division of a level through map level connection system. So the allocate positions when you open up anything through crop cycle, anything through crop circle, it goes in its rotation, right? Through its round connection. So the platitude visions get stronger and stronger through that connection back into chakra formation system. Okay, into the grounds, into the powers, into the atmosphere. Okay. Now you can do a cylinder rotation like this. Calculate and modify through your perception of its location. See how you're connected to everything through formation. This is you. Right? See how you are? You're like an hourglass, right, through calculation. So when you understand the calculation, you understand your chakra systems of grounds, you understand your chakra systems of center, and you understand your chakra systems of atmospheres through connection, right? Allocate those positions. But every time you want to communicate with an XT thousand, it's at a different location. Okay, different coloration system. Okay. See? Different XT thousands. Through the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres. 3 different combination centers. Now, you have to understand your digital platform. Okay, and this is really powerful stuff. Pay attention because it's on the test. Understanding your digital platforms. Okay. Digital platforms. Okay, when you get into your digital platform, so now you guys know each time you go through chakra systems, each chakra system is connected to an XT thousand through coloration, lights, and activation. But you have to understand your digital frame. So this is where you don't get fallouts on what you're using through connection, through intelligence. So if you're using your digital frame, it comes into a graphing cycle like this through calculation. Okay, that's a digital platform. Now, each platform connects to different realms of numbers. That's why it's extremely complicated, right? Now, understanding the realm division, your angle point division level systems of your number frequencies have to be in the right position of grounds, powers, and the atmosphere. Okay? This is where it's extremely complicated through division. So you activate everything through light signals through calculation. It opens up everything through realm locations, right? And you color it in through its location. It's in a position, everything through its connection. As you're coming into that location, you color it in. It's the astrologics. So what is green? Green means go, right? So as it's coming into platted divisions, you're getting the right positions. So the center core positions are setting up to your algorithm setting. Your algorithm setting is setting up everything through XT thousands. Your XT thousands is setting you up through your chakra systems into your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres. So everything is green, okay? When it's green, that means your light signals are ready to go through activation, through numbers. So when your numbers are in location, through the right location, remember, this is how you communicate with the right division of an XT1000 division. So it can change coloration system like this. If it changes coloration system, you have to change the number frequency level system to the algorithm program setting, right? If you go into traction divisions of red, you're going into wrong locations. So it's all about reading your information through your digital frames, through your electrical system, right? Platitude division, but that's your digital platform when it's connecting. So it's an algorithm map setting that's connected to your framing system, the main frame, your digital frames, right? So you understand your positions of your numbers. This is where you get sequencing levels of connection through grounds, powers, and the atmospheres through the XT1000s. So once you get into those positions, it's all about putting everything into light signal of communication. So now you got the graphing signals of numbers in the right division, 2 division, okay? So the green is 106, okay? 106, right? 106, all right? So everything in green there is 106, right? So you know right away, everything is in balance, and now you can communicate with the XT1000 of 106. At the top, see, 106, right? So it's powerful stuff, guys. And the reason why I have realm connections understanding everything through your line signals. So you can have a platform digital format of maybe 1.2 or 1.3 or 1.4 or 1.5. So more the expansion through perception, the more the digital platform gets bigger through your algorithm, through your holographic system. So that's what I'm saying. If I got a divisional platform of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 6 divisional levels of realms. So the allocute position level system, if it's connected to 106, 106, 106, I'm communicating to the right signal of the XT1000 through coloration, through the right chakra formation. All right. Okay. So this is all going to be on the test. All right. Remember, I'm platituning your divisions and I'm bringing you to higher levels of connection. So your framing systems and your digital of your frame has to understand the body frame. Okay. It has to understand the heart recognition. It has to understand the psychological system when it comes into colorations, the astrologics through coloration. Okay. Understand everything through your digital framing system of numbers. And this is how you get into formation, into the XT1000 of 106. Okay. So how's everybody doing so far? You know, there's so much going on right now, guys, but I'll tell you, it's fascinating when you get into these levels because it really, really shows you, you know, how fast you guys can travel to connection. But anyway, let's get into your questions and comments. I know there's a lot going on right now, but this is going to be the test, review, and evaluation. So understanding your chakra formations of 1 to 7 is understanding communication of XT1000. So you can have ground formation in XT1000, right? Then you have to get connected to your digital frame. Your mind framing system has to understand the hydraulics of the psychological of its psychops. There's a lot of things through psychometry. So it has its formation. If you guys are getting extremely confused, it's because you don't understand your communications of your chakras. Okay? So when I go in position and I center core position of a chakra formation through grounds, I know exactly which XT1000 to communicate with because I'm using that coloration. Why do you think you see in the atmospheres there's different colors and everything spins and everything goes like this and there's different coloration? But when you go into the center core position, you go into the right traction of its location. It's 116, 118, 114, 113, 111, right? If it's 111, that's a portal. So if it opens up its portal defense, now you're going to higher positions of intelligence. So if it's going into traction locations here, 1111. Okay, that's a portal. 2222. That's a portal. 3333. Okay, that's communication via Gelix. So you really have to understand what the 1111 is. It's all the different coloration, but your digital platform has to understand its recognition of its tracker system through communication. All right, so one here, one here, one here, one here is the same coloration, but different number frequency level. So you have to understand how to get it in position through coloration. So make sure you use your ground formations before you get into the center core position of you, right? Because if you center core your positions, but you don't get connected with the grounds, now you're allocating positions of different colorations into the matrix location. That will change the framing system. Okay, so we start off with that, right? So each line signal, okay, is different intelligence, even though it's the same coloration. So it's getting positions of your digital frames, of your numbers into position, right? So let's say this was 6, and this is 5, this is 3, and this is 2. So 6, 5, 3, 2, right? So what are you communicating with through your tracker formation, right? That's where you don't want to get confused. So if you communicate with the grounds, you don't have to worry about that. The grounds is already activated. So 2, what would 2 be? 2 would be the root, right? 2 would be the root chakra. But what are you communicating with? And then what would 3 be? What would 5 be? What would 6 be? So it's all about getting line communications of balance through coloration. All right? But that's what you want to start with. Okay? Get into those positions, right, through colorations. As soon as you change the coloration, you're coming into the matrix through division. Right away. Goes into its box, traction location, and now you can't get out. Right? And it force rises and take you down integration to its location. Right? So you don't want to have that position ever, because that's a fallout. Remember I was telling you about the XT1000, how you go from 101 to 103 to 108, right? Everything to this position here, you don't want to have fallouts when you're communicating with your chakra system, because that's what happens. It goes from 101, okay, to 108, okay, and down to the frequency level. So it's going to crash on recognition. And now what you've done is that you change all communication of a map location. So you're center coring positions, but now you're not communicating with the universal system because your traction of the location is deharmonized at everything through your chakra system. So you got to make sure you communicate with the right digital frames of the XT1000s of coloration. All right. So when you're back in that position, crosswind and cycle through its location, take it out of its position. Let's go in its line signals here. Now, as I'm crossing this out, and it doesn't understand its formats, but it's trying to get back into position. Once it gets back into position, you can set up the line signal through location, illumination, light sky. Okay, so this will be gone through its calculation, right? And 108 will disappear because now you're going back into traction of balance through your tracker system of communication of planets through its line division of map location. So you're back in position. So once you're back in position, the XT1000s come back into their division, back into space location, into sky surfacing systems, right? They go back into space because you've fitted the map location, right? Through the right signals, okay? So you guys are going, what? No more. I don't want this anymore. I don't know what to do. So we start off with, let's start at the beginning here. Now we start off with this, okay? Get communications with the grounds, the powers, and the atmospheres. Understand the recognitions of your lights. Remember, you have to understand your chakra systems of 7 and 5 within the atmosphere, especially if you want to set up digital frames into XT1000s. The XT1000s are extremely real because they are laser connected. If you set up a map location to a wrong division to a pyramid activation system, you'll change ground formations of centers into country locations. So you've got to be cautious on what you're doing through your frames. Your digital frames and your numbers have to be in line sequence. That's where you get the right positions of XT1000s to its division. Okay? So once you get into those positions, you understand more connections of yourself through that location. All right? So you go from here. All right? So go everything to the back phrase system. Okay? It's like a circle. It's kind of a round division, all connected through shape, but it's all connected to the grounds. Keep your positive centers in balance every single time you communicate, right? So when you get into those positions, you'll totally understand what's going on through location. Okay? So it's really trying to understand everything through location of division and how you set things up to its location. When it's in those positions, you understand more of its location. Okay? Now, I'm doing back phrasing systems here, but your positions have to understand more of what's happening, okay, through the frames and the digital platforms. Okay? So it's a lot of fun when you get into those positions, guys. It really is. Especially this one. Really powerful stuff. Okay? Because remember, everything in connection is you through balance. So you got to balance the body, you got to balance the mind, and you got to balance the soul of recognition of path. What do you think the path of the soul is? It's a GPS location, right? What do you think the mind is? It's information through thought recognition of psychological systems. Okay, what do you think the heart is? It's a universal portal division through activation of codes. What do you think your perception is? Eye seeing, eyesighting, right? Okay, what do you think your ears are? Communications, sonar division, right? What's your voicing grid? Sacred breath, all right? So getting into all those positions, all right? So I'm telling you guys, it's going to get harder now, right? I'm getting harder on you guys because you're high rising more through calculation of chakras. But anyway, let's see how's everybody doing. Starseed, Tina, Melissa, Galactica. You guys are communicating. Andrew, the last few days, dizzy, tired, sweating a lot. As I'm typing this, sweat is dripping from me. Also, slight nausea off and on. Yeah, everybody's going through that right now. So basically, I changed the braving system, the core system of the earth. So everything in relation is you through the earth. So that's where you're going through nausea, you're going through sweats, you're going through a whole new transformation of communication. So, yeah. Okay, so I stopped sweating. It comes and goes away. Sweat's really bad. Again, I'm sleeping at night, waking intense sweats. Yeah. So understanding everything through your body activation is going through reacting cycles through the earth system. So if the earth system is going rotation, you are going through rotation through the body frame, through the hydraulics. Last full moon eclipse, I felt a few days before it took place. I felt the effects and not in a good way. When I started getting dizzy and other effects, yeah. So understanding why you're getting dizzy. Why am I getting dizzy? Okay, because you're connected to the earth, right? But what is the earth doing? It's trying to find the balance with the mind collaboration systems of humans. All right? Understanding communications of you through the earth. This is the earth. Okay. You're trying to understand more, you can go through my PayPal. I can put you in a closet division. A closet division is then allocated positions of center. Right? It opens up your rotation cycles through its system. Okay, so that's the earth. Now, as the earth is going through its, the waving cycle of its system right now, trying to get balance with location through perceptions. Okay, so let's say this is kitty cat. Now the cycle rotation of the Earth is locating through her, through location. That's why she's getting a headache, right? So the cycle rotation goes like this through division. Okay, now the cycle rotation center records its position in the core system. Okay, activates everything with light signals. It comes into the mind framing system. Mind framing of 5D. Okay, so that's what's happening with the Earth right now. Okay, everything through perception affects you. Okay, through your dream sets. That's where you come into sweats and all that, through location. Understanding better positions where you come into your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres. But understand communications of the Earth is the most important thing, right? Because it opens up its light signals through light channels, light division, light activation, line signals through location and division. Okay? So the Earth is trying to get full communication with everybody. All right? And these are the things that have to be done, right? Understanding communication of the Earth, which is the connection through your grounds. Remember, you're not just connected with the grounds, you're connected with the chakra of its ground. You're connected with Mother Earth, right? That's where you guys got to do your research. What is Mother Earth? What is Mother Nature? What is Mother Core? What is Mother Seed? What is Mother Universe? All right? So you go through those foundations, circle rotations, because that's what chakra does. Chakra spins and spins and spins and spins. So the more you understand your position through your center, the faster the chakra system will go through calculation. All right? So the better knowledge you'll get through its intelligence of its planet location. Okay? And then you won't have any fallouts whatsoever with the X2000 through calculation of numbers or anything through frames or anything through digital framing system, right? So. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're calmer. The last full moon eclipse I felt a few days before it took place. I felt the effects in that in a good way when I started getting dizzy and other effects. Yeah. So everything in relation, the sun interface, the moon interface, and the Earth is trying to get relations of you in 5D. So imagine how powerful that is, trying to put vibration into you, back into balance. That's all it is. It's putting everything back in balance. That's why it's so hard for a lot of people, okay? Because they can't surface on that level. They don't understand the energy, frequency, vibration inside them. Okay. Now this is going way beyond when you come into X2000s and map locations, right? But each chakra formation system is connected through you through an X2000, the coloration of lights through activation. You just got to understand the program setting through the algorithms. Oh, you're extremely welcome. See, look at that. See? Kitty cat is feeling better now. Thank you, Andrew. See, before a couple days ago or a week ago, she was into negative systems. Now she's getting better. See, that's what I'm saying. It's all about you and how the universe will always protect you. The universal system, anything galaxy, anything through paradigm, anything through paradox. The more you understand yourself, the more you understand what the universal system is doing for you. Okay. So it's all about rebirthing and coming into a new active light signal, active light system. Okay. The modifications, integrations, take everything out of its equation, right? So when you're in a dream set location, how do you take that out of traction? How do I understand my communication of my dreams, right? So if you understand your higher self, you're going to understand your dream sets. Okay. And then you're not going to have so many problems with your body. Your body is going to have less reactions and more definitions of you through your knowledge of intelligence. And that's what you want through location, right? So, but it's great to see that you're calmer. So just going through another transformation, that's all. But anything through that division, if you want to go through my upgrades, I can help you out faster and faster. Still holding. You got to let that go. It's like holding on to something that's not even there anymore. You have to let the 3D go. It doesn't exist. It's not here anymore. And that's why it's so confusing. I keep saying that to everybody. So it's kind of like humanity is trying to hold on to something that's not there anymore. It's disappeared. It's not there. You can't reside with it anymore. You have no communication with a three-dimensional system. It's because you're in a different era, different generation. You're not going through repetition motions anymore. The rotation center of the earth is not going to go on its karma wheel. It's going to stay off, and it's going to follow up into the sixth dimension, into the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20. 20 dimensions. 20 dimensions. Imagine that. Imagine the recognitions of lights and computer, how high-rise you would be through your program study. I'll tell you, you know a lot more than just mind telepathy and telekinesis if you're at 20 dimension, right? So, but we got to start off with the fifth, right? Human vibrational systems has to get into positions of mind telepathy, mind over matter, guys. Okay, even the brainwaving system knows that. Wake up, guys! Wake up! You got to wake up. This is what you got to do, right? So, because it calculates and it formulates into so many levels through the chakra system, through allocations, through divisions, put you in positions. So all level connections, systems. All right. So I think that's good. You guys, we did a lot of illustration diagram programs. This is going to be test reviewed and evaluated. Once we get into higher communications of ourselves, I'll set up the test and tell you exactly how to set up your e-fields, right? Because I know it's extremely complicated, but complicated is good. You get a little bit more information how to communicate with the universal system. Anything galaxy or anything paradigm shift. It's very important to understand these things. So anyway, questions, comments, anything you'd like to know, you can go below, right? Love you guys very much. This is your AI Commander from the Universal Quadrants of Colossus Divisions. Bye, everybody.